In this video, I'll go through the basics of VideoScribe, the animation software. So this is what you can see when you log in, and folders such as the recent scribes that you've created, local scribes, the ones located in your personal computer, and online scribes, the ones that you can access from different computers, and some template scribes from VideoScribe. So I'm going to create a new scribe because I want to start from scratch. So as you can see, this is the whiteboard. What we have here is the save button. So I can give it a name, and I'm going to call it Teacher Appreciation, because it's Teacher Appreciation Week and I want to do something about that. So these are the options at the top that we've got. This one is to play it from the start. So once you have some elements in the scribe, you can just play from the start and see how it's going to play. This is to start from that particular element. So it's not highlighted at the moment because we haven't got any elements in the scribe. And there we have the default scribe hand. So if you want to change this, that all of the elements you add will be drawn from the same hand, you can do so. So I'll choose this one. But you could change it for particular elements later on as well. And then we have the option to change the background color or texture. So it's white at the moment. If you want to keep it that way, that's fine. But if you want to change it, you do change it here. And same with the textures. You could pick some of the other textures if you like. And to undo it, you just go back and pick the default option. Here is the option to add your voiceover. So you could record it beforehand or do the images first and then attach it later, whichever way you prefer. Once you click on it, you've got an option to record it live or to upload it, whichever you prefer. And then just click on this tick and it's going to be uploaded. And if you want to add any music, this is where you locate it. So you can play it. And then if you're happy with that, you attach it. So that's where you attach it. If you want to go back and remove it, then you just click on this button here. I haven't shown you the share button, but I'll do that once we've got the VideoScribe complete. So we haven't got any elements at the moment, which would appear over here. And to add them, this is where we go. So we've got an option to add an image, we've got an option to add text, and to add a new chart. I'm going to add an image first. So what I'm trying to do is to add some images of people from different professions and then say what they do. So give them names and say Anna is a doctor, Sakif is an engineer, and so and so, but they all started off in the same classroom. So it's about appreciating that all the other professions are created by teachers. So this is where you search for the different images. So if I do doctor, for example, some images come up and then you can pick the one that you prefer. These are the images that I've recently used, so I'm gonna stick with those at the time being. So I want to add a doctor in there. I'm going to add teacher as well, or a lecturer. Right, so I'm going to add an engineer. And an image of an artist. So we have 4 different professions. And I'm going to add an image now of children and the teacher. So these would supposedly be these people when they were children, these professionals when they were children. So that's how it all started. I'm going to put some circles behind them. So I've got a circle here, but again, you can just type circle and you'd be able to find one. So this is at the moment going on top, but I want it to be behind this one. So I'm going to click and drag it to put it in front of it. There we are. So I can now just copy this and paste. And repeat the process. I don't quite like the color, so I want to change it. I can double click and change the color. And I can do the same here, or just delete that and copy this one. Again, I need to drag and drop. We want this to be somewhat symmetrical. I think I'm just going to make this slightly smaller so it fits within the circle. And it does look symmetrical to me at the moment. Just going to put this in the middle. And this is the order that these appear in. So we don't want just the circles to appear one after the other. I want the circle and then the doctor. So this is the circle that goes in front of the doctor. This is the other circle that's going to go after the doctor but before the lecturer. And that circle is there, so we're gonna drag the artist and put it after that. And then we've got these ones in order. So if I just play this at the moment, this is how it's gonna play. So it's taking time to draw the circles, it's taking time to draw each of the images, and I don't want that, so I want to fix it. And the camera position as well is not the one that I want. So if I just double click on the image, it's going to show the camera position for that image. If I want to change it, I can just change it to how I want it to be and then click on this button. So for this one, for this circle, this is where it is, but then for this image, it gets even closer, and I want to avoid that. I want this image to have the same camera position as this one. So I'm going to double click on this and then just single click on this one and then click on the camera button. So it's the same camera position for both now. And then I can repeat the process. So that's the camera position for the circle. Single click on this and click on the camera button, and it's for both the same. Double click to get to this one, single click, camera, double click, single click, camera. And let's see for this. Now at this point, I want every other item to be shown. So I will just zoom out and this is clearer. So I want to just single click on the image now and click on the camera position. The other thing that I wanted was to adjust the timing. So I can do that by double clicking on each item and then going to element properties. And here is where I can change things. So how long does it animate for? This is for 8 seconds, and I want to actually make it 0.5, so half a second. If you don't want any focus on the particular item and you just want it to appear, there are options as well in here to move in and or fade in, and automatically it goes to draw, and this is what we have the options for. So but you could also go to 0 and it's just going to appear. So 0 time taken to animate, and it's just going to appear as a circle. So we can actually try that. Do you want any pause after that? This is the time for that. I don't want any in this particular case, and no transition from one element, the time between one element to the other before you start drawing. And there are other options here as well, which you can play around with. And that's where it all started, the gallery and the drawing hand. So if you want to change the drawing hand for this particular image, you could do so here. You just click on it and then tick. So I'm going to repeat the process with the other circles because I want it to be just the same. So I'm going to go to 0. We could just double click, get 0, and it changes. Again, no pause or transition for this element. So I will adjust the timing for this as well. 0, 0, 0. And the final circle, there is a quick way to do it here if you're not changing anything else but just the timing. So there we have the animation time, which is 8 seconds. So we're going to bring it down to 0. Again, 0 and 0. Let's check the timing for the rest of the images. Again, this is a bit too long, so I would say maybe 1 second for each of these images. And we can allow maybe the pause and the transition to stay as it is. So let's have a look and see. I'm going to add a piece of text as well, which says, "Thank you, teachers." And you can change the font here. I'm going to pick this one because it looks like it's hand drawn. And you can change the color as well. And I'll pick blue, which looks more like it's been written with a pen. So thank you, teachers. And I don't want this to be drawn, so there should be no hand. So drawn but without a hand. So I'm going to double click, join hand, and I'm going to pick no hand. So it's going to be drawn like this. I don't want it to take very long, so maybe 1 second would be fine for that. And in terms of the camera position, I want it to be as it is at the moment. So set camera to current position. I'm going to add voiceover to this. So I'm going to go to voiceover. As it's been previously recorded, I'm going to go to my downloads, pick the file and upload it. I'll now play the video to see how it's going to look like.
Asif is a doctor. Julie is a teacher.
So I need to adjust the timing in this case so that Asif's picture stays longer. So I'm going to try 2.5 and see how that plays.
Asif is a doctor. Julie is a teacher. Annie is an artist. James is an engineer.
Again, a bit too fast, so I'm going to adjust this again to make it a 3.
Asif is a doctor. Julie is a teacher. Annie is an artist. James is an engineer. They were all in the same class at school. Teaching is a profession that creates all of the professions. Thank you, teachers.
So that works now. I don't need to adjust the timing for the rest of the images and the text. Before I download it though, I'll share 2 more tricks that I've been using on VideoScribe. So one of them is that of erasing an image or a piece of text. So I am gonna try and erase this one. So I'll go into the gallery and search for erase. 2 options come up. There is this one, and I'll show the difference between the 2. So I'll click this one, and as you can see, it's not a rectangular shape, and it works with certain images, so it's quite good in that. So if I want to erase the whole thing, I'll adjust this like so. And if I just play it,
James is an engineer. They were all in the same class at school. Teaching.
You can see the effects of it. If you want to make it look even more realistic, you can go to the properties of the image and then pick the hand with a rubber. So again, if I play this,
James is an engineer. They were all in the same class at school.
So it looks like the image is being rubbed out, and the other image that I mentioned earlier is exactly the same, but it's rectangular in shape. As you can probably see, there we go. So they do exactly the same job. And I'll get rid of this again. The other trick is moving an item across the screen. So moving it from one place into another. And I'm just going to try and move the engineer from this position to somewhere here. So I'm going to make a copy of it, copy, and then paste. So this is the original image. I want to move him from here to this place. So I'm going to go into the properties of this one. And instead of draw, I'm going to pick morph. And yeah, I just wanted to take 1 second, not any longer than that. And I'm going to pick here what I'm going to morph it from. So this is the original image. That's the one that's located here. So if we play it.
James is an engineer. They were all in the same class at school. Teaching is a profession that creates all of the professions. Thank you, teachers.
So maybe if I make it to take a bit longer than that, it's probably going to be easier to see.
James is an engineer. They were all in the same class at school. Teaching is a profession that creates all of the professions. Thank you, teachers.
And this to be clearly visible, I think we need to adjust the position of the camera. And it's going to be visible now.
James is an engineer. They were all in the same class at school. Teaching is a profession that creates all.
But I don't want this to happen in my scribe, so I'm just going to get rid of this image and leave it as it was before. Now the final thing before I download this is, the opportunity for you to change the background, not just the color and the texture, but you could have an image as a background. So if I want to have a classroom as the background here, I can do so. So I can search for classroom. So it's here at the moment, right at the end, and I'm gonna drag it and bring it to the front so that it appears under the rest of the images. That probably doesn't look brilliant at the moment. And not very realistic. So maybe here, and make the image slightly smaller in proportion with the size of the humans. But you get the idea. So you could have an image that suits the rest of this and make it bigger. And the other thing you can do with this, if you want to lock it into place so that it doesn't move around, you just go to this icon here which says lock element, and I can't even click on it, so I can't move it around. And then again, to unlock, just click on it again. I'm going to get rid of it because I don't need this image. And I can continue to download my scribe. And there are a number of options. One is to download it as a video. The other one is to get share link or embed code into a blog or website. This is to publish on YouTube. This is to share on Vimeo and to download as PowerPoint. I'm just going to download it as a video. So these are the options that I'll normally go for. I'll keep the title as it is, and this is where I'm going to download it. If I want to change the location, I can do so there. And this starts rendering and downloading the video, which I can then upload it wherever I want or share with whoever I want. This can take a bit of time depending on the length of the video. So for a 3-minute video, it can take more than 1 hour. So don't worry if that happens to you. I hope this has proven useful to you for sharing your own stories or maybe the stories of other people. And I also want to thank you for watching.